assume that, like I'll tell you one requirement here. Let us say, as per the requirement, display the number of employees in each department. If it is a single department, we can do it very easily, right? Let us say if it is a single department, what we do? Select count of staff from employees where one side is 50. So this is normal way of writing where you can get the count for a given department. But let us say that now I want the output of multiple departments. Nothing but I want to see all the departments as well as their count. I want to see all the departments as well as their counts. If you have a requirement like that, then we have to go with the group function. Okay. Now we'll just see like what exactly group function and this syntax also. Okay. Group functions operate on set of rows to give one result for a given group. Group functions operate on multiple rows. That is why the name is multi-row or a group function. It operates on a multiple rows. And if you see the syntax here, like as of now we have discussed about all the blue color highlighted stuff, right? Select from where as well as auto by also. And now the only remaining thing is group by as well as having clause. Group by clause as well as having clause. And this having condition cannot work if you don't have group by condition. In group by and having will work simultaneously. Okay. Yeah. So now what we do is this is the syntax of a group by function. Like we have to mention group by keyword followed by some column name. Okay. And let us see now as per the requirement if you understand. See, this is how we try to get the count of a number of rows for a given department. If it's a single department, we can write a function like this. But in our case, this is the requirement. Display the number of employees in each department. Nothing but in the output, we want to see the department ID followed by count across. Count. For each department, we want to count. So if you have a requirement like that, what we have to do is we have to use group by function. So here what I will do is, let us say department ID comma count of staff from employees. Is it correct? Will it work?
Yes.
Sure. Do you think any syntax error or any logical error or something? So generally it seems it works, but it will not work. Okay. So it says that group by error or something. It says that it's not a single group function. So what is the reason behind it? Is, like if you observe the difference line number 4 and line number 9, what we have mentioned count of star, but we have not mentioned any column name here. If you mention any column name followed by any function name, see, remember this. If you mention any column name,
Yes.
yeah. If you mention any column name followed by any group function name, if you mention any group function name, always you should have a group by clause. If you don't have any group by clause, if you mention the function name as well as column name, it will give an error. Always mention group by clause. If select clause, we use column name and group. Okay. And here we have to modify to get the appropriate data. What we have to do is here simply mention group by department ID. Got it? So what is happening now? Let us discuss auto by 1. So it is auto by department ID. So here what it is trying to do is this count is getting performed on group data. It is not performing on all the rows, isn't it? The count functionality is not getting performed in all the rows. It is performing on the group data. Maybe like let us assume that in a normal generic way, in the real-time scenario, let us say if you don't have any database, let us say manually if you want to group the data, manually if you want to count the employees, let us assume that you are a manager and you have around 100 employees under you and each particular employee belongs to a different department. If you want to find out, let us say you are in a single floor and all the people are in a particular cubicles or maybe each person is standing like that. If at all if you have a requirement like this, what you do, first of all you will segregate all the employees based on the department, isn't it? You will segregate all the people based on the departments and you will start counting on each department separately, on each particular group separately. So now this is also the same thing it is happening here. In our case also, this particular query is also doing the same logic. What we are doing is, when you mention group by department ID, what will happen is, the data will be segregated into set of groups based on the group by clause. Now the data is divided into set of groups based on the group by column name. What all we mentioned here. Now based on the group by column name, what it will do is the given data will be formatted into set of groups, and the function which we mention in our select clause that will get applied on the group data, not on all the data. It will be performed on each and every group data separately. That is why if you see for the department ID 10 we got 1, for the 20 you got 2, for the 30 you got 6. Got some idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let us see one more example. Let us consider one more example now. Find out the number of employees in each job. You have a job ID, right? In each job. We'd like to display the number of employees in each particular job. How do we write? In the output we require job as well as count.
Number of employees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Select group.
Okay, select start from employees. Okay. Group by
From employees. Where?
okay, where?
Where?
Let us see this data. So this is the data which we have, right? Job ID is a column name. Now let us assume that for a given like the account manager, I want to display all the employees. But I want to find out the number of employees in the account manager job. What do you do? I just want to display the number of employees in the account manager job. What we do? Simply job ID is equal to this particular column name and we'll display count of that, isn't it? So this is for displaying for the purpose of only single job. But as per our requirement, it is not only for single job. We want to display all the jobs as well as all their counts. We want to display all the jobs as well as counts. So what we have to do? We have to use joins one. We have to use group by function only.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we do is we just try to change something like this. And now also we want job ID and we want count of staff from employee. Don't use any where condition here. Group by job ID. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Let's see one more thing. Let us say we want to find out the employees. Display the number of employees joined on same hierarchy. If this is a requirement, how do we do? Display the number of employees joined on same hiring date.
Select. Select count star from employees.
Okay.
Where? Where hiding is equal to job ID or his join date.
What is the join date? From where everything join date? What is the requirement is display the number of employees joined on same hiring date. So here, now let us say you have 10 employees. Assume that you have 10 employees. Each particular employee is having its own set of hiring date. We don't know it, right? So we want to, first of all, how do you get whether they belong to same height rate or not? We have to group them, right? Let us say, like when you're playing a game, what you do? Just people with. It's a simple logical thing. like let us say you have 10 employees, and each particular employee is having some height date. It can be same or it can be different one. If at all if you want to perform a count, or if at all if you want to validate whether they belong to same particular height date, what do you do? Just you'll call loudly and say that like this height date come here, this height date go there, this height date come here. I mean go to that place, something like that, right? And then you'll perform the count. In our case also, what we do is same count will do it. Select count of staff employees group by height date. That's it. Now, yeah. And here, let us assume that we don't want to display all these particular people. Like here, there are chances that there are some people who are having height date. Can you see? There are 2 employees who are having the same height date. The count is 2, and maybe some other place. Yeah. So it seems that there is only there is one more. Got it? Now, what we do is we'll modify this such a way that display the number of employees. Display. What we do is display the height date on which more than one employee got joined. Let us say, what do you say? Some team is trying to validate whether if any manipulation is done on the hiring stuff, and they want to find out on a given high date, if there is more than one employee, they want to find out what is that particular date. They want to find out in high date on which more than one employee got joined. They want to find out the high date on which more than one employee got joined. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
So here what we have to do, we have to mention having count of staff, simply count of staff greater than 1. Got it?
Why we are using the count star in 2 places?
The reason is, if you observe, what is the requirement here? This is a new requirement, right? Display the height date on which more than one employee got joined. So here, if you want to display simple height date and a count, this is enough. If you want to display the height date as well as count, only height dates, comma count and group by clause is enough. But what we want to do, we want to display those dates on which more than one employee got joined. We want to display those particular dates on which more than one employee got joined. So what is the thing is, we have to perform a where condition, nothing but a condition based on the group of data, not on all the data. Let us say, coming to same example, let us say, I'll say here, you have 10 employees, each is having appropriate particular dates, higher dates. Let us say 4 employees belong to date 1, 3 employees belong to date 2, and 2 employees belong to date 3, and last employee belongs to date 4. Now, our requirement is, I don't want to see all these particular 4 dates. Our requirement is not to display all these 4 dates. I want to see only these particular dates where number of employees joined greater than 1. Nothing but I have to display only these 3 things, right? Not the last one. Right? I should not display the last one. So the same thing, to have this particular conditional based logic on the group of data, we have to use having clause. Let us see one more example. Let us say, understand this one. Display the department where the number of employees in the department is greater than 20. Try to see this logic now. Display the departments and their employee count where the number of employees in the department are greater than 20. So there are 2 conditions here, right? There are 2 conditions. This is the first condition and this is the other condition. If it is a simple condition, what we do? Select department ID, some count of staff, some employees, underscore ID. This is the first condition, isn't it? The simple one. Now, what is the other condition? See, this is, till this part clear. Display the number of employees in a given department. Nothing but display the department as well as their employee count. Display the department as well as their employee count.
Yes.
And now, what is the next condition? We want to display only those departments. We want to display only those departments where the number of employees in a given department are greater than 20. Where the number of employees in a given department are greater than 20. Now, we want to have a condition based on this particular group of data, isn't it? Not on all the rows. On a group of data, we have to have a condition, isn't it? So now what I will do? Having count of star greater than 20. So now what will happen? This particular logic will get applied on this group of data. It will get applied on only on this group of data. Are you getting?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see this. We have only two departments there. The number of employees are greater than 20. Like, what is the difference between, if I ask you what is the difference between where clause and having clause, what do you say? What's the difference between having clause and where clause? See, where condition will get applied on each row, isn't it? Where condition will get applied on each row. But here it will get applied on group of data. This is the difference.
Yes.
This is the difference. Got it? Or
Yes, sir. Yes.
let us say one more very simple example. Find out all the surnames. Find out all the employees. We just want to find out where the last name, nothing but surname is last name. We just want to find out where the last name of the employees are equal and which are greater than 1. Let us say you have 100 employees and you want to find out those particular people whose surnames are same, and you just want to find out that particular surname where it is used by multiple people. In a given particular employee data, we want to find out those particular surnames where it is there for more than one employee. These are the surnames which are there in a company, which is this Taylor surname which is there for 2 employees. The Smith is a surname which is there for the 2 employees, like this. Got it?
Yes.
And if can I mention employee ID here? If you mention employee ID, let us see what will happen if I mention employee. Simply it will not work. Okay? It will not work. It will not work. To work, what you have to do, simply mention group by employee ID also. So it's not displaying anything. But there are many reasons behind it. I'll see that. Okay. This is a very simple logic, okay? Yeah, any doubts in this group data?
Sorry?
You have any doubts in the group of data? Clear?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah. And one course I'm having the SQL only.
Yeah, he came for only SQL, but he did not arrive today. I don't know why. Yeah, he was there for only SQL.
No, I'm asking One of my subject in the school is DBMS only.
Okay.
But she is writing one query like customer dot department is equal to department dot customer, where we have to write that class or some query.
Can you tell again? Sorry. Select.
Select last name comma first name.
Last name comma first name.
Where she write like customer dot department or something.
Okay, understood. Fine, got it. It's called table alias. It's called table alias. I'll tell you. So
Table
this is,
alias.
yeah. So I'll show you one example. We'll discuss anyway next class also. Now, let us say now we have let us assume that we are like if you want to display the data from a single table, what you do? Simply you will mention like this. And here, let us I can also mention a table alias. I just mentioned EMP here. Now you can mention EMP dot first name like this. EMP dot last name. This also. So the EMP here EMP means table alias. Okay. Now let us say I want to display data from multiple tables. I want to perform a join. This is RDBMS, right? What is the concept of RDBMS? We have different database systems, right? Database types. Relational database management system, columnar database, row level database. There are a lot number of databases which are there in the market. Hierarchical database, network database, graphical database. Many databases are there. So the present database which we are using is called relational database management system. Nothing but the data will be stored in a relationship fashion. The data will be stored in a relationship fashion. Nothing but what do you mean by relationship? Let us consider a normal the Indian family. The parent is a person who will be only for the purpose of income purpose. Their wife is only for the purpose of expenditure purpose. Their children is only for the purpose of again the expenditure purpose only, right? So, but they are all connected by some relationship, right? Father of, husband of, isn't it? Spouse of, children of, parent of. They have a set of relationship with each particular person. In the same thing, what will happen is within the relationship database management system, what will happen is we will not store the data in a single table. We will not store the data in a single table. We will segregate the data in multiple tables, and each particular table will be connected by appropriate relationship. Nothing but if you observe, there is one table called department table. This department data this department table will have only department data. Nothing but what is the department ID, what is the name, manager ID, location ID. And but if you observe the employee data, each employee is having the department data, right? Each employee belongs to a particular department. Each employee belongs to a department. But here it is not having any department name. Here, in the employee table, we are not storing any department name, isn't it? Are you getting?
Yes.
Let us say you have an ATM card. You just will have an ATM number. That's it, right? It doesn't need to remember any other data. The remaining data will be remembered by your magnetic tape or whatever you call it as, isn't it? You just need to remember your PIN number of that is enough for you. Remaining data will be taken care to the bank or the magnetic strip which is there on your card. Isn't it?
Yes.
Now, in our case, let us say you have a requirement. Let us say you have a requirement to show employee data with department name. Let us say you want to print a particular report. You want to print the report in this particular fashion. Nothing but I want to print employee ID, first name, last name, and also I want to print department name. So now if you observe, the first three columns are available in the employee table, but the last column is available in the department table. Isn't it? What I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, you have a requirement to show 4 columns. 3 columns are from the employees table and 1 column is from the department table. But there is one thing we understand is there is a relationship between the employees table as well as department table. Nothing but for a given department, we can get the information from the department table. So what we do is we'll join this particular both tables. So let's start from employees, EMP, come to department, DB, where EMP dot department ID is equal to dot department ID. Here it is not E, it should be EMP. Got it?
Yeah.
So now we are able to display the department data also, right? If you don't join it, you cannot get the data. If you don't join with the department table, we cannot get the department name data, isn't it? Clear? This is what you are asking.
In which cases we have to write this? We have to join this employee table.
See, it all depends upon your data model. It depends on data model. Let us say we have something called data model. So as I was telling, right, in relational databases, the data will be stored in multiple tables. Now, in our case, we have a requirement to show the department name as well as some of the 3 columns. These 3 columns are in one table and 1 column is another table. So we have to join it, isn't it?
Yes.
So it all depends upon the requirement. It all depends upon the requirement. How exactly you want the data. Whether you want a first column, 3 columns, whatever it is. So but you just need to analyze whether the data is available in a single table or whether data is available in multiple tables. If it is available in multiple tables, which tables they are and how do we join them? Okay. So this is the concept of join. This particular concept is a part of the joins concept. That is a topic which we will be discussing next. So are we clear about this group function? Having clause, group by clause, that's very important. That's very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let us see one more last sample, okay? Last sample. You have to answer this one, okay? The number of yeah. So line number 62, if you observe, line number 62, can you tell me the query for this? You just want to display the number of employees under each manager. Display the number of employees under each manager. Nothing but number of count. In the output, we want to display manager ID followed by count. So if you tell this particular query, I can say that you understood this concept.
Select the star form.
Yeah. Select
Star.
So in the output, I require only 2 columns. One is manager ID as well as count. I don't want to see any other columns. Have you understood the query first of requirement?
No, number by each manager.
See, okay.
Select count star manager ID.
Yeah, correct. Manager ID.
Manager ID. Where?
Where from?
From
From employees.
employees. Employees. Where? No, where manager ID is equal to
What is happening?
or emp dot manager ID.
See, EMP doesn't come into picture. We have not mentioned any alias, right? We have not mentioned any alias. See, you try to understand this group function concept. It's very important, very much important. Like, let us say, see, assume in a real world scenario. Let us say if you have 100 employees, if you want to perform a count, based on a manager ID, first of all, what you do, you have to segregate them, right? You have to segregate them. You have to divide them into groups, then only you can perform the functionality. So now where is the difference? See, not again from that. Don't see. Just see this. No count star, nothing. In the output we require 2 columns. One is manager ID, other is count. That is fine. Even where will not come into picture. We have the group by clause, right? This is what I was telling. This is what we are discussing now. Group by manager ID. See now.
Yeah, that's the main one, right?
It's simple, yeah. Now, one more thing you have to understand, where you have to use group by or where you should not use group by. That also you should be very much clear. Always try to always try to link this particular database in normal real world scenario. Always link this with one with a normal real world scenario, then you will easily understand.
Oh,
okay. Let us say if I ask you for each particular employee ID, I want to print the length of his name. What you will do? For each employee ID, I want to print the length of his name. What you will do?
For each manager ID?
Sorry, for each employee, print the length of his last name. What is the thing you have to write? For each employee, print the length of his last name.
Select.
Okay. Select.
Count star.
Okay, good. Why do you want to count? See, understand the requirement. You know, like see in the normal.
Start from EMP.
No star. 1 minute. In a normal software thing, without knowing the requirement, you should not start anything. That is the best thing. Better you say that you know, understood, or better you say don't know. Don't assume anything. This is one of the good principles you have to follow. In a software programming, you have to understand the requirements clearly. You have to understand the real requirements clearly. If you don't understand the requirements, what will happen is, what are the hard work which you have done will become vain. It will become wasted. So now if you understand the requirement here, what I have written, for each employee, print the length of his last name. So as per this particular requirement,
select last, count star last.
Yeah. Last name. What does this count star do? Count star will give you the length or not? Will count star will give you the length? How do you find out the length of the last name? Oh, group by here. Length, na? Length and see, what I mentioned here, print the length of the last name, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't require any group by also. That is what I was telling you. It all depends upon the requirement. You have to understand where you have to use group by and where you not use group by. Okay, one more thing. So now, for each, find out those last name length where it is greater than 10 or maybe 9. I want to list down only those particular last names where the length of last name is greater than 9. What to find it? Find out those last names, length of employees where it is greater than 9. Is this what? Yeah, we just want to list down. Understand the requirement. You tell me the requirement. Don't tell about the query. As per the requirement, what you understand? We just need to find out only those last names where the length is greater than 9. Isn't it?
Yes.
Clear? Clear about the requirement or not?
Yeah.
If you have any doubt, you tell me. Before starting query, we have to know the requirement first of all, isn't it? Normal, in normal general examinations or maybe the bank or this thing, the length of the name will be a very much important one, isn't it? The length should not be greater than 25 characters, or maybe it should not be greater than this kind of length, right? Maybe if it's a PAN card, it should not be greater than 26 letters, isn't it? So we have those kind of requirements, and even if it is a normal bank stuff, the surname should not be greater than 15 letters. So there are some kind of requirements, restrictions like this. So now what we want to do is, we want to just find out those last names where the length of this particular last name is greater than 9. So if you write like this, length of, I can simply mention length of last name of employee where length. Is it correct?
Yeah.
But here it is almost correct, but not totally. Why? Because if at all, let us say, for a given last name, if I want to find out how many people are there in a particular last name, if I want to find out how many people are there in that particular last name. Then we have to use group by only. See this. Select of start, length of last name. Okay, so now it will display for each particular last name, it will display the count. Now, what we want to do? Adding length of last name.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so there is only one employee with this particular last name 10. Oh, sorry, the length of last name is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one final one.
Yeah, వచ్చింది.
For each department, display the salary. Display the what is the requirement is display the total salaries paid to the employees for each department. What is the requirement here? Display the salaries, total salaries paid to the employees for each department. Let us say as a manager, let us say there are 100 employees working under you. And these particular employees belong to 3 departments, HR, finance, as well as what is the other department? Administration department. What is the other department? HR, finance, as well as administration. And now when we just want, as a manager, you just want to find out for each department how much salary you are paying. As a manager, you want to find out how much salaries you are paying to each department. We just want to check out the department level, not the employee level. We want to find out the department level. So I just need the department data followed by salary data. So how do you do it? Or maybe if you consider the Excel sheet, how do you do it? Do you know pivot table concept in Excel sheet? Pivot
Sorry,
table.
Python just.
Pivot table. Pivot table in Excel sheet.
Fine.
No? 1 minute. I'll show you. You want to become a manager, you have to know pivot table. The major skill set for the manager is this Excel sheet, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
You do you think it's correct?
Oh, this is compiler table.
No, not it. We have not yet done. Let me show you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you. Okay, we have this data now. Okay, so this is our data. So now what we want to do is, let us assume that you are a manager, you want to find out for each department how much salary you paid. So now what I will do is simply click on insert pivot table. Click on pivot table now. Just select what is the data you want. So it automatically selected. It automatically selected data for you. So because you know like the managers are so intelligent and the tool should be intelligent, right? Not the managers. So now it selected the data and it is also trying to print the data in a new worksheet. So go with the default option. Click OK. Now what I want to do, what is the row level data what I want to do? I just want to display what is that, where is the department? Yeah, department ID. And I want to print the salary for each department. Simply salary. I want to print the sum of salaries, not all salaries here like this. I just want to print sum of salaries. So here click on field settings and here search for sum. 1 minute. Got it? This is my requirement. So let us say I give you this data. How do you write the SQL query for it? You understood the requirement or not?
We have to display the total sum.
Yeah, total sum of salary for each department. Each employee is having department, right? See, each employee belongs to a specific department, isn't it? Each employee belongs to a specific department. But in the output, what we want to do is we want to display the department ID as well as the total salary paid to that particular employee in a given department. Or else, if you want to understand, I'll tell you in a simple way. Let us say I have employee 1, he belongs to department 10, his salary is 1000. If you have employee 2, his department is 10, his salary is 500. Now I have another employee called 3, whose department ID is 20, and his salary is 900. The last employee, who belongs to the department 30, his salary is 9000. Now, what I want is, in the output, I just want to display department ID followed by total salary per department. So what is the expected output now? What is the expected output? So how many departments are there? 10, 20, 30, isn't it? Yes, 20, 30. Now how about this one? For department 10, how much salary I'm getting paid? For department 10, how much salary we are paying? 1000 plus 500, isn't it? 1000 plus 500. Just try to work on only the group one. Just see only this data. That's it. Only this data. Okay. And wherever 10 is there, add up them. 10 and 10, 1000 plus 15, 1000 plus 500, 1500. Isn't it? And the remaining employees is only one employee, right? So it's very easy. Remaining is just one employee. One place will have 900, other place will have 9000. Isn't it? Got it or any confusion? Let us say take one more employee now. Fifth employee with department 20, and now his salary is 700 or maybe let's say 2000. Now what will happen to this one? Department 20 is there twice. 900 plus 2000. I think it's 2900. Isn't it? So this is what we want. So how are we doing first of all? We are grouping the data based on department, right? First of all, we are grouping the departments and we are performing the sum. That's it. First of all, you group, find out what the unit departments. Find out the unit departments and perform the sum on them. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this one, what are we trying to do? Like a department, we can see, we can play around this. Pivot table is so important for normal managers. Let us say, here instead of department ID, let us say for a given department ID, I want to find out the number of employees. What I will do? Just take any cell, take employee ID and simply perform. Yeah, automatically. So don't take sum. What you do is click on count. That's it. Okay. The number of employees 108 and the count of each particular employee is getting here. So these are things we are doing now. These are the things we are doing now using our SQL query. And let us say for a given manager, you want to find out the number of employees. What I will do? Now I will take manager column here. That's it. Getting. So now let us say, I will show you one more thing. For a given department, I found out, I want to find out each job, and in each job I want to find out the count. This is my department, and for each particular job, I want to display the count. Can you see how good it is looking like? I have a department 10. 1 minute. I have a department 10, and it is displaying the number of departments are there, number of jobs which are there, and in each job it is displaying the count. See, in the AC account I have only one employee, and here if you see SAR, maybe sales representative, there are 30 employees. So these are the things which we are doing actually. Now if you want to have this requirement, can be achieved using our SQL query. If you have this particular requirement, let us say if the manager asks, this is the Excel sheet data which I have collected, can you write a query for me? It says that using pivot table I was able to do in 2 minutes, why don't you do in a SQL query? Right. He will ask you this question. So now, yes, we can do it. SQL is not that much dummy, it can do it. So what we do is select In the output we want department ID, we want what is that? Let me know. Yeah. Department underscore ID, job ID, count of staff, employees, group by same thing. Like this. That's it. Of course, it may not show appropriately that fashion, but little bit. Not totally same that way, but yeah. For a given department, we can just say that auto by department ID. For a given department, if you observe, for department 10, there is only one job, and if you observe for department 50, there are 3 particular jobs. Nothing but we have an employee, there are 20 employees who are under the same department as well as same job. There are 20 employees who belong to same department, same job as well as same department. 21 employees who belong to ST clerk as well as some department. Okay, so try to work on it. I'll send you, I don't have any notes on this especially, but I just have simple this particular slide. Just go through this slide, okay, and maybe you can come up, see what you do is at least you come up with a requirement. I think we can design it for it. What you do is come up with the requirements and we can design it for it. Think like a normal, a manager and think out how exactly you want to extract the data. What you do is group functions, generally these are used by the normal manager reports, sales report kind of thing. You use group functions mostly. You can't say when you use it, you use across every time. Simple. Every time you use it. Okay, so work on it and next time we'll discuss joins.
Okay, and last Saturday class జరిగిందా?
Saturday లేదా?
తను ఇంకొక తను ఉన్నారు కదా అమ్మన్న.
అమ్మన్ రాలేదు ఇవాళ కూడా మరి. If you not there class ఉంటుంది. మీరు లేకపోతే క్లాస్ ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే నేను యాక్చువల్లీ నాకు మిడ్ టర్మ్ ఉంది అనమాట. సో దానివల్ల నేను మాకు టేక్ హోమ్ ఉంటుంది ఎగ్జామ్, సో అది రాసాను.
You better what you do is just send a mail. After it is that will be easy. I will not be waiting because I will have multiple trains.
ఓకే తను ఉంటాడని చెప్పేసి నేను ఇంకా ఏం ఏది పంపించలేదు.
You are the main. If you are not there, you will not take class. Simple.
ఓకే అండ్ నాకు రికార్డింగ్ పంపిస్తారా? ఇది రికార్డింగ్ అది అవుతుందా లేదా అర్థం అవట్లా. ఆరెంజ్ కలర్ ఇస్ ద బటన్ రైట్?
రెడ్ కలర్ వస్తుంది. స్టార్ట్ రికార్డింగ్ క్లిక్ చేసిన తర్వాత బటన్ వస్తుంది.
రెడ్ ఆరెంజ్ వన్ అయితే కనిపిస్తుంది. అది మ్యూట్ పైనదే కదండి.
ఆడియో అటెండెన్స్ ఉంటుంది, దాని పైన ఆడియో, దాని పైన బటన్ ఉంటుంది కదా స్టార్ట్ రికార్డింగ్ అనేది. బటన్ కనిపించింది స్టార్ట్ రికార్డింగ్.
ఇది కంట్రోల్ ప్యానల్ అని చూపిస్తుంది మరి.
Anyways, I recorded. I'm recording.
ఓకే అండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
చలో, yeah.